Hi everybody, I'm Dr. John Douillard and welcome to LifeSpa.com, where we aim to prove the ancient medical wisdom of Ayurveda with modern science. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up for our newsletter at LifeSpa.com. Okay, today I want to talk about how to keep your kids healthy. You know, we raise 6 children, and according to research at Stanford University, the average kid gets about 6 to 8 colds per year. Now we had 6 children. Let's say each cold lasts about 10 days. And so you have 6 colds per year times 10 days, that's 60 days, times 6 kids, that's 360 days. So for us, if our kids just did the low end of the average, they were sick for pretty much the entire year, which became in our family what we jokingly called unacceptable behavior, getting sick. And my job was to keep them healthy because that's what I do, right? And so I ended up writing a book called Perfect Health for Kids, which was a lot of the stories about the early days trying to do Ayurvedic home remedies on my kids and how that went and sometimes didn't go. But by the end of raising our kids, we definitely succeeded in keeping them very, very healthy. And there are a lot of tips that I share in that book, but there's one tip I want to share with you today. And it's a story about a young 8-year-old boy who came to see me who was getting sick too often and missing too much school, and his mom brought him in and we had this discussion. And I asked him, you know, how are you feeling? He said, fine. And I said, do you ever, get dry skin on his body? And goes, yeah, I get dry skin, and my mom puts lotion on it and it's terrible. And I said, you know, the skin on the outside is really kind of the same thing as the skin on the inside, you know, in your mouth and in your tummy and everything. And if it gets dry on the outside, you're probably going to get dry on the inside. And I got to tell you that the article associated with this video, you can click on it. It just goes through the dialogue that we had, which I thought was absolutely adorable. And I said, you know, when the skin on the inside of your intestinal tract and your lungs and everything get dry, it can give you a runny nose, it can give you constipation. And he said, and I asked him, you know, do you ever have a hard time going to the bathroom? And he was super embarrassed about that question. But he did miss days, you know, and I said, you know, sometimes when your intestinal tract gets so dry that you can't poop very well, then what happens is your sinuses begin to get so dry that they produce even more mucus. So your nose starts to run, you got to blow your nose all the time. And he goes, yeah, I got to do that. And that's when I miss school. So we had this like really beautiful discussion. And I said, I'm guessing that you probably, he's like 8 years old, don't like taking pills or powders. And he said, yeah, I can't do that. And I said, well, I have this stuff that I think you might like. And it's an herbal sort of peanut butter and jelly paste that you can take. And I took the jar of this Chyawanprash, which is an herbal rasayana for immunity, a superfood. And I opened it up and I looked at it, and it's black, kind of pasty looking stuff. And he looked and he says, yuck. And I said, look, Aaron, I'm gonna make you a deal. I go, if you take this jar and you finish it in the next 2 weeks, I'll give you $5. You come back here and you tell me you finished in 2 weeks and I'll give you $5. And he was like, really? And I said, yeah. So we shook on it, we made a deal. And then 2 weeks later, my assistant in the front part of my office knocked on my door and she says, John, there's a little 8-year-old boy here who says that you owe him $5. And I said, oh boy, let's see how it, open the door. Hey, Aaron, come on in. How's it going? I said, I'm assuming you ate the whole jar of Chyawanprash. And he goes, yep. And I said, I guess I owe you $5. And he goes, yep. And I said, how are you feeling? He goes, I'm feeling pretty good. And so I gave him the $5. And then after that, I come to know that he did significantly better in school. His immune strength was significantly improved. And that has been actually mapped out by the science. There was a study with 702 kids. Half the group got Chyawanprash once a day, half the group didn't. And the kids that got Chyawanprash had 2 times more immune support than the kids who didn't. And there's just study after study showing that Chyawanprash is a powerful immune agent. You know, it was designed for people who are delicate. And kids, when they're young, their digestive system just hasn't really been turned on fully yet. And when you're elderly, your digestive system sometimes starts to dial down. And that's when you need this absolute superfood. But if anybody is sort of run down, feeling lethargic, tired, Amalaki, Chyawanprash is a powerful antioxidant formula because 35% of it is amalaki, which is that very powerful antioxidant berry in India that is considered maybe one of the most powerful Ayurvedic herbs in all of India. They call it the super rasayana, the wonder berry, and that's the main kind of driver of the Chyawanprash. And what they did is they formulated to sort of amp up the benefits of the amalaki, really is kind of how it works, which is kind of really neat. So when you think of amalaki, the berry, it's got 10 times more vitamin C than an orange does, even though it's a little tiny thing. It has 10 times more vitamin C than an orange does, so it's super potent in that. And here's what the vitamin C does when you take vitamin C in its natural form, in the berry form. The vitamin C as an antioxidant, what it does, it actually protects your fats, your vitamin A, D, E, and K, which support the integrity of your cell membrane. They protect them from oxidation and degeneration and damage. That's what vitamin C does when you eat it in your body. It protects your, when you take vitamin C, it's good for like your capillaries, we've always heard. It's really good for your sinuses. It's really good for the delicate microcirculation and the inner skin. So in Ayurveda, the fats, the vitamin A, D, and E, K, which are the fat-soluble vitamins, they balance your vata. Vata is cold, vata is dry, vata gets aggravated in the winter, and poor Aaron was a very vata kid. His intestinal tract was dry, he didn't poop very good. That created dryness in his respiratory tract, would produce reactive mucus, which made his nose run a lot, made him more vulnerable to getting sick. All those things began to happen to Aaron because he had a vata constitution, and as a result of that, a vata imbalance, right? So the fat-soluble vitamins, the fats, which are harvested in the fall and winter, the nuts, the seeds, the grains, even the meats that you'd eat more because you hunt more in the winter because nothing's growing, all that has a higher content of fat, which balances your vata. Where if you're eating cold, dry, foods in the winter, when the squirrels are eating nuts and seeds, they've sort of got it figured out, right? So that's the idea. And the fats balance your vata, they balance your nervous system, and they heal the integrity of your intestinal, of the cell membranes, which protect you from an immune event. And the vitamin C in the amalaki, the vitamin C in the Chyawanprash, actually has been studied to protect those fats from becoming rancid or becoming oxidized. That is such a cool concept. And then it actually, in studies showed it actually can take oxidized fat-soluble vitamins and reconstitute them and make them whole again so they can continue to protect your cell membranes from an immune event and keep you stronger, keep your skin glowing, keep your body more radiant and more vital, because your cell membranes aren't just for immune protection, although it's a big deal. Your cell membranes have to do with protection of everything, your vitality, your energy, your mood, your joints. It's just and that's the whole idea of a really good antioxidant. But this is an antioxidant food that Ayurveda made thousands of years ago that souped up the antioxidant benefits, and that's what makes it so powerful. So I highly recommend that you take a look at this article where I go into some of the details, and there's links in that article to all the other articles I've written on amalaki and Chyawanprash that show the actual science behind what makes Chyawanprash work so well as an immune supportive superfood agent, particularly really special in the fall and the winter and the spring when we become more vulnerable to a vata imbalance or more congestion in the body. All right, well, thanks for listening. Please sign up for our newsletter at LifeSpa.com. Do you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe and share.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at LifeSpa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.